Merry Maid and welcome. Today we're going to be making the pan de muerto from The Sims, and I'm pretty excited. I've never had a chance to make this. I feel like I for once am able to do something around the actual time frame, so that's exciting, or like, you know, the season. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to replace our 4 large eggs. We're using flax eggs. If I had aquafaba, probably would have worked really well. And then what was I thinking of? Just egg would work really well. But there was another one I was thinking of where I was like, man, this probably would have been a better egg replacement if I had it on hand. And I really can't think of it. Oh no. Okay, well, when it comes up, it comes up. But yeah, so we have our ground flax eggs that you can see has soaked their water a little bit. So with this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add about 6 tablespoons of butter. I know I did it all in one block, even though I have it like cut up to make it easier. And then we have about a teaspoon of salt. Perfect, all in the butter. Let's actually get all of our salt. And then we have half of the sugar we're using today, which is about half of a cup. And then if you have a stand-in mixer, this is going to be another recipe where it's going to be so much easier, better, because you want to actually use a paddle attachment and mix this for about 2 minutes before we go ahead and start mixing in that flour there, along with our water and yeast. So I'm going to go ahead, because my butter is not as soft as I normally would like, and do this off screen, and we'll come back when we're adding our flour. Merry meet again. So here we are, just continuing, and we're now going to be putting in our flour and alternating with our warm water. So it did have a temperature on it. I don't have a thermometer for measuring water, the temperature of the water, I should say. So I just put it in the microwave for like 30 minutes. It's warmer than 80 degrees, I know for sure, because like when you think 80 degrees, think like warm bath water, but it's not so hot that I can't touch it. So that's what we're doing here. But okay, so let's put in some flour. And then just get this mixed up a little bit. And then we'll add a little bit of water, because it's really not a lot compared to how much flour we're adding. So we're gonna be very minimal when we add the water and very generous when we add the flour. And on that note, here we go. I'm gonna add about that much. Okay. Oof. Oh, sorry, my cat's about to be loud. Merry meet again. So sorry about that. I figured I would just go ahead and finish it since my cat was still like they were getting their zoomies and running around. So we finished with the water and the flour, and so now is when it says to go ahead and incorporate the yeast. So yeah, it is already very much a dough form. This is why you would be using the paddle function, because it's going to be the one that like helps the situation the best. You know, I just realized I think I need to knead this, and I have absolutely no extra flour and no oil either on the table. So anyways, but yeah, so I'm trying to get that one clump because I don't want it to be like, again, with a paddle hook, it kneads your dough as you're doing it, so it mixes it a little bit better. So with that in mind, since my fingers are already kind of in it, we're gonna go ahead and just knead this a little bit to make sure. I was worried that there wasn't enough water, and there totally is. Okay, so very exciting. And I don't think the flax seeds make it look too bad. I do wish, because I try to grind them myself, so I tend to just end up opening them a little bit. So I probably could have done a better job, but I should actually try ground flax seed sometime, and it'll probably change my whole conception around a flax egg. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. All right, welcome back. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add about 6 more tablespoons of butter. So on hers, she differentiates the margarine that we used earlier, which obviously ours is just vegan butter, being used over, it just said at room temperature, but yeah, it says this is supposed to be able to get added into here. Anyways, we're gonna do these wet ingredients one at a time per the instructions, and that's why we're also gonna follow it in this order as well. This is, I don't know, maybe the butter is a liquid? I don't know, you know, you can't go wrong. It's gonna taste delicious. Anyways, what I was saying though is the earlier one, I believe, is the one that was like no salt, and then this one it didn't specify, so I'm assuming we actually would want it to be salted butter. So that's what we're doing here. This is salted vegan butter. Which, if you're like, oh no, I don't have unsalted or salted, you can, it's barely any ratio, I believe, when you're making something like this. I can't, this is, am I supposed to? Okay, yeah, let me act as if I am the paddle, the paddle attachment. So paddle attachment, I'm gonna go around more like this for a little bit. I'm feeling like kind of weak in general this week, so this is taking a lot of arm strength and a reasonable argument if you have the space for having a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. They're not so expensive nowadays. I just don't have space. I just keep seeing this giant glob of butter and I'm like, that can't be good. Not in this context. Ooh. Okay, I think that's the best I'm gonna get it. I just needed to get that one glob. Okay. Now that we've done that, it's time to add in our orange zest. Very excited. I love oranges so much. As you can see, I zested this off camera. My cat still has a little bit of the zoomies, but it's gone down a little bit. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This dish, I don't know if this is like, this is how it's always made or what. Like, obviously the recipe I use is going to be linked below, but I'm just very excited about this. I think it's going to be a good time, and I personally also use this time to celebrate my ancestors, so I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna, because again, I'm just feeling so weak, I'm gonna call that good, because we're gonna keep mixing. We're not done. We still have to go ahead and add the sugar, and then we also have our orange blossom extract, and it's wanting us to do it one at a time. So we're doing it one at a time. Oof. Good thing about sugar is, like, it's kind of just coating the bread at this point, you know? Obviously it's not. This is going into this is still the dough itself, but and we'll have more sugar later for actual dusting, but it's just funny. Okay, like I said, got to be the paddle huck. Oof. Okay, and then time finally for orange blossom. I really think she thought out this recipe like really well, and in regards to the portions and everything too, because I was really nervous that there was too much dry versus liquid, but you know, here we are and we do have a soft dough. If anything, I would almost wonder if it's too dry, and that would be only because I am not good with that I got my conversions incorrect for the butter, because that was the only one that I had to convert myself. Okay. Ooh, there we go. There I meet again. So as you recall, I needed to set up a surface. So that's what we did here. We have our dough and we're just going to try to knead it for a couple of minutes. I have spare flour over here on the side to help me with this, because it is still a very wet dough. Yep. I got my sweater all flowery and I was like, well, these things happen. Yeah, so that's exactly what I was concerned about, was this happening. But I know it's supposed to get even wetter than this, so I'm going to take a lot of flour. Ah! Some of it fell, sorry. Chaos. And we're gonna go ahead and coat this on the outside. Yeah, this sweater is definitely getting washed as soon as we're done with this. Or going in the wash, I should say. Okay. So we're not going to do too much because it's also only supposed to be kneaded for a couple minutes. So we're just trying to get that elasticity up and making sure that it doesn't come off too much on us or on the table. But we want to maintain what this softer dough for sure. Oop. Yep. This was the wrong sweater to do this. I was just like, had to get the ingredients like ready because, you know, it's been a little hard this week. Or I've just been like a little slow this week, I should say. And so, I forgot my whole reasoning for even telling this story. My point being that it was difficult getting here today, but I'm gonna call this as good as it's gonna get because I can't go for perfection, and I don't think this is too bad. It was kneading really well just like a couple minutes ago. It just got over pushed on a spot that it had already stuck to before. But yeah. So this looks good to me. So I have an oiled bowl here. We're gonna go ahead, throw this in here, remove the cat hair that came off of my sweater. Super great there, but we saw it, we caught it. We're gonna put a towel, or if you have plastic wrap, you can use that. I don't have plastic wrap. And keep it in a warm place for about an hour, let it rise before we do our next section of this. This definitely is something that takes a couple hours to complete with the resting periods, just so that you know. Anyways, see you soon. Very meat again. So here we are. I already split it up a little bit. It didn't really proof double in size because it's kind of cold where I'm at, and I don't have my home heated up, so I guess that is something to take in note, is the temperature that you keep in your home. So we didn't get that much, but she says that it can make either 16 or 2 large ones, so we're gonna go for the 2 large ones. So this is our little like extra bit. Do I have a scale, a food scale? Yes. Am I using it? No. Is this an exact opportunity time to use something that I own? Yes. But I just really didn't want to take it out and like deal with it, but then I ended up showing this all separate, so I was like, well, what are you doing? But Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, so we have this, and so for the first part, it is literally just wanting to get it in a bowl. So hopefully, yeah. So you kind of like use a cup formation, and that's all you're doing. Boom. And so I'm gonna do that with this other one real quick. I like to determine where like my most aesthetic looking part of the ball to be on the top, of course. Okay, so you don't really even need to do as many as I did. So I have this here because now we're gonna do this one. And this one, I saw one, it looked like she put cornmeal in it though. No, not cornmeal, sorry, cornstarch in it, or masa. And I don't have that, so we're not gonna do that. This is just flour. It said to like, you have it on a floured surface just in case. And I have extra because I was nervous it was gonna be super sticky. It's not at all. As you can see, it's working really well. So for this part, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll split it up in half. And then we will actually go ahead and take like a 3/4 and split it up one more time. This one we can go ahead, it's the smaller portion, and we're just gonna, I feel like it's already too large, but we're here now. So, yeah, actually it is too large for my likings. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take just like a little nubbin off. And hopefully you like understand what that means and like see how much like smaller and like more reasonable in comparison it looks. Okay, so that's kind of where it's going, but we're gonna finish this little part first. And we're making bones. So we want 2 bones per bun. So I'm doing that. Okay, so I just messed up a whole bunch and just decided to reform it. So we're gonna go ahead, because I just have an easier time forming it inside of my hands half the time over on a surface. But we need to get this nice and long and even throughout, and that's too much flour on it now. And I didn't mean for that to happen. Because as you can see, it like really doesn't want to roll. Is it me? Am I the problem? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know it's too much flour. Okay, I was feeling really good about this. And it's like, oh, you know what? This next step should just take out like barely any time. It'll be great. Nope. Turns out you suck. At least we can laugh about it. Okay. I really don't know what to tell you. So the whole point of this is you're supposed to be able to roll it. So we'll like twist it maybe. Nope, I hate it. Oh, great. And then you're also supposed to be able to get another little section. And it's supposed to look like a bone. So yep. And then, so that middle part goes over that. And then what we do, because that looks huge. I don't. These are at least going to taste good. That is the only thing getting me through this. And I really hope that this isn't offending anyone, because I really don't mean it to. I really wanted these to come out really well. And it is just due to my inexperience, if anything. So, me. Okay, so that's what I mean. I don't know why at a certain point it like stops wanting to like roll. And like as soon as you like try to do any like kind of like firm forming of it, it's like, what are you asking of me? So we're gonna do the same thing because we spent way too much time trying that the first time. I don't know what I even did the first time apparently, because I'm just like, okay, is this how it looks? Does this look like a bone to you? I don't think so. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead, put it right here. You know what? other like super non-patterned ball, and now it's like, hey, that ball might have fit really well. Oh, you know what I totally forgot? So I don't have egg white. Aquafaba totally would have worked well, but we're gonna use some butter to help keep it all together. So let me go grab that. And I'll finish this, and then we're going to let this proof for an hour. Covered, so like right now it's in a pan, so I was just putting it in the oven, and so you can actually, sorry, not an hour, you want it for like 2 hours, especially if you're in like a cold place like I am and you want to go a little bit longer. But yeah, so we're gonna get some butter. I'm just gonna move these, brush some butter on the sides here underneath, still put this layer back on, put this back on, then we're going to let this proof. And I'll show you what they look like proofed before we do another butter all over, and then we put it finally into the oven. So I will see you soon. Merry meet again. So here we are. You can see again I have a very cold house right now, and so that's part of the problem. It's not puffing up. I don't have white egg wash, so we just put a little bit more butter on top. We're gonna be adding more butter and the sugar afterwards, so I know it's a lot of butter, but I want it to hopefully brown a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 16-17 minutes, and it should puff up again some more, especially because now there will be the heat that it's been asking for, and it should be good. We'll find out, and hopefully we cook it all the way through. Let's go. Merry meet again. So don't worry, this is because I already opened it up. I wanted to see how cooked it was. So it's still kind of undercooked, but good enough for me that I will eat it. Honestly, this ended up taking more like 40 minutes. It is so good though. You can really taste the orange, and the flaxseed complements really well together. So I really enjoy it. I think it's a delight. I'm now realizing, because it's taken longer, I'm having a harder day, that I totally forgot to do the butter and the sugar. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that done, and I'll record that part too. But I'm done, at least for today, so I will catch you in the next one. Bye. Merry meet again. So here we are to finish this up. I had some butter, but it didn't look like enough, so I tested it out. But essentially you're just gonna want to brush on, I don't have a pastry brush, other things. That's something I really could invest in, because I have space for that. Normally I would also help use the spoon to do it, but I thought I would have more space and time. So what I'm gonna do, because it's just this like back corner, is just spin it around in this butter right now. This is me low energy. I'm very tired. What can I do to actually get this done? This honestly has been such a great process. I'm so glad I got to try this, even though I clearly don't know what I'm doing and could have used a mentor, a wise woman in this case. But I still had a lot of fun. This is still something I really wanted to do, and I'm going to finish this, make some coffee, and set up an ancestor altar. I shouldn't say set up, I already have it set up, but add this to it as an offering. So with that, let's go ahead and add a little bit of sweetness. I think you can do this part also to, like, if you're like, oh, I can't really like make it sweet, or I think this would be a really easy recipe to turn diabetic, since you have a lot of control over the ingredients. So, but there we are. I'm gonna go ahead and call it completed. Our nail bones did not come out as well. This almost looks like a skull and crossbones, right? Maybe? I don't know. And I know it puffed up to the side, but overall I'm actually really happy with this, and I really loved this experience. So thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your holidays.